I see a huge opportunity for us in Fairfield. There's zero competition and plenty to drive people to drink. Welcome to the name-pending saloon, purveyor of spirits and stimuli. What'll it be, stranger? Why, sure. You'd be surprised how much loose talk... What, between the Protectorate defectors, finally able to speak their minds, and all our off-duty Antes employees carping about work and the war. Any particular topic you have in mind? Oh, Minister Milford Street's blessed with the gift of gab. Swear he could sell bypass shunts to a Raptidon. Ain't one of them falsely magniloquent types, though. Sincere fella. Shares command of Fairfield with Acquisitions Officer Carr. She's blunt and murderous. Two traits, and to say they have differing approaches to leadership is like saying, gee, suns are hot, whilst being incinerated in a solar eruption. Vox Station's run by a brigadier by the name of Montelli. Sounds like he's as much a danger to his own troops as ours. Real piece of work, even by Protectorate standards. Reportedly enamored of show trials and summary executions. Tell you one thing you can't avoid, the bridge. No other way around it, and at present, it's held by Protectorate forces. We have a small contingent of troops bivouacked nearby. Forward Operating Base, they call it. You're asking me for the particulars of a high-level corporate acquisition. Like an in-depth... They merged. Rebranded. Auntie Cleo seems in charge now. Dunno. Do my best to steer clear of... My pleasure. Got anything for me in return? Apologies, but tall tales and poorly formed fabrications Here I was hoping you'd have a good story for me in exchange, but oh well. Not everyone's a seasoned raconteur. Reckon so. Here's what we've got.
Ever want or hope to want? You deserve that choice. You deserve Anti's choice.
Oh, one of my copious direct reports. Time for another performance review already. Apologies, I'm still applying the required elbow grease to scour these surfaces, just like a novice facility sanitizer should. Many thanks for the validation. I don't suppose you can spread the word of my competency. I desperately seek to avoid yet another demotion. This meritocratic society is still so foreign. The workplace skullduggery, the prioritizing of self over community, the excessively colorful nutrition. It surely is. I was a drone operator right here in Fairfield. Gave nigh on 50 years of zealous service at my terminal before Auntie showed us the wonders of consumerism. Never even heard the phrase job security up until a month ago, but it seems I lack it. I can barely keep up with all these gumptious sorts. Oh, you're right. I wanted change. Whole reason I left the Protectorate in the first place. No sense complaining about the means now.
You ever find yourself with too much disposable income? I got plenty of ideas on how to dispose of it.
I know I've been pushing to find DeVries, so this might seem a bit of a left turn. But void it. I'm just gonna ask. Got an old friend here on the island. The doctor who patched me up after Horizon Point. Ex-protectorate, a good man. Tracked him to Westport a short time ago, but never got up the nerve to visit. Reckon we could drop by and pay him a visit? Brief one, of course. Not sure he'd still consider me such, but that's part and parcel. I had some bad years on my own. Now with you here being part of a team, this might sound a mite soppy, but that starts with writing accounts. This friend of mine, Zebulon Tran, I let him down. And I've been chewing on that live wire for a while. Too long, maybe. Much as I might love to jaw about that special interest of mine, this business with Zeb's gotta come first. After I recovered from Horizon Point, Zeb and I ran together for a spell, doing what we could to help folks in difficult spots. Fighting too small for Zeb, as it turned out. He was unhappy before I showed up, and after, well, all my directorate talk fired him up even more. I had my orders. I was to stay low. Couldn't let the Protectorate catch wind of an Earth Directorate agent in its midst. But Zeb, he kept pushing to take more extreme action. Resistance is a mite strong. Wasn't like he was part of some greater movement. He avoided speaking out of line, but he was already spinning up discontent by the time we met. We worked hard, but the Protectorate's arbiters and sentinels worked harder. Often than not, our help only made targets of the folks whose lives we were trying to improve. Didn't matter what we did. Arcadia was still caught under the Protectorate's boot. Well, you weren't. Anyway, things weren't good. Zeb and I couldn't find the rhythm we had before. We were arguing every day. Eventually, cutting ties just seemed for the best. Clean like. Only later I learned Zeb hadn't given up the struggle like I assumed he would. He got to stay in mental refreshment for his trouble. That's the last I heard of him, till recent. If it weren't for Zeb, I'd be in the ground. It's a debt I never properly repaid. Plus, I don't relish his last memory of me being a vanishing act. I owe him better. And since finding you, well, a lot feels possible now. Much appreciated, Commander. Promise, I won't be making a habit of pulling skeletons out of my closet. Westport's on the east side of the island. I tracked Zeb to somewhere on its outskirts, but never got up the nerve to visit before now. We ought to start there.
Abara, you failed to take your daily supplements 3 days in a row. Vitamins are a vital tool in aiding wound healing and achieving your long-term health goals.
We've talked about this, Val. Ain't polite airing folks' private health information in front of others.
If oral capsules are not your preferred delivery method, suppositories may be a viable alternative.
All right. I'll take the damn supplements. The normal ones. And maybe I'll examine your courtesy settings while I'm at it.
Oh, what's this? Non-protectorate personnel just sauntering up onto my porch, free as they please. Admit I'm accustomed to a higher standard of precaution. State your purpose, outsider, or exit yon way you came. I'd actually be convinced if I were less versed in such affairs. No matter. Despite the bold display of false bravado, excuse my circumspection, uninvited callers have caused much of my misfortune of late. Although an intermeddling outsider like you may be just what I require. You travel freely. I'll forgo appealing to your sense of duty as those outside the protect. In my role, I compile material providing special insight on other colonies. Items prohibited to others. During recent troubles, unsavory elements removed certain items from my old office. Among them, a series which took considerable time to assemble. A form of manipulatory ideation disguised as popular entertainment, intended to sway the audience to their point of view, couched within just a crackingly exciting narrative. Tell me, are you familiar with Science Adventures Quarterly? Featuring Commander Zane and Buddy and other sensationalistic space stories. It was a popular fiction periodical from not long ago. Each of its 10 volumes featured an exhilarating cover illustration depicting Zane, whether they faced automechanical industrialists or robber magnates from the Plutocrian kleptocracy. Their tales remained invigorating thrill rides. Sources placed them briefly in the hands of sub-Rosa black marketeers. Yet who sold the materials to them or where they went afterward remains a mystery. The line represented a growth of the medium from the less sophisticated 2-bit dreadful. Both in style, its remarkable popularity not only mirrored a rise in public sentiment against greedy corporations and tyrannical governments across colonies. The brief window surrounding the volume's release saw a marked increase in skip drone requests for Earth Directorate aid. I believe there remains much to learn from them. Ah, quite right. Once you have one of the 10 periodicals in hand, I will trade you for rarities and bits. May safety, amity, and ease be yours.
Engaging combat protocols.
Ready to waste them. On your command.
Yes, immediately. Just heal yourself. Now. Confrontational state.
Let me know when you need a distraction.
Agent vitals have fallen below acceptable parameters.
Ready to take the heat off you, command. Seems nowhere on Paradise Island going untouched by this. I'll take fighting raps over living in a surveillance state any day of the week.
Rise from the side boundaries of calm.
Then you are the perfect protectorate subject, Prescott. What you lack.
Engaging hostile life forms.
As goalie, tender, or, should all else fail, winger. Now you know all you need to know, so on we go. Here's a little number to get your feet tapping and your mind meditating on the perfection of...
Ain't as tough as you thought. Hey you! Get over here before you get yourself killed!
No, you ain't got what I need. And you can't come stumbling around here looking like prey. These raps ain't had a bite to eat since their pods dropped from the look of it. And a desperate rapt is a dangerous rapt. That obvious, huh? Yeah, I was hoping there'd be something worth harvesting. Something worth the trouble of killing the poor creature. But hope is the father of disappointment. If the occasion calls for it. But I fancy myself something of a biologist. Or, at least I used to. Me and Raptidons, we're well acquainted. I know their patterns, behaviors, attacks. Know what gives them an edge around folk who ain't in possession of that knowledge. Which is why I gotta ask, what are you doing here? Oh, that's a high-profile target. Huh. If she entrusted that to you, then I reckon we're on the same side. Or something like it. I'm Inez Silung, Auntie's choice. Former combat medic in the Enhanced Soldier Division. Now, menial troubleshooter. Minister Milver Street of Fairfield sent me here to retrieve some information. Not my most exciting assignment, but suppose we can't expect much with the stalemate on this island. I'll admit I was eager for some good hunting around here. My arm, my graft, needs some bolstering.
but if the wraps here are as weak as this one, it won't help me none. If you had, you'd know. Unless you're accustomed to seeing folk roaming around with exposed muscle fibers or stunted extra limbs on their backs. Sorry. Guess I'm just used to folks staring real hard and then steering clear. I'm considered a liability. My graph's all wrong. Most everyone else who got one passed or became permanently incapacitated. So they shuttered the program. It was a total failure. Everyone in Fairfield reckons my time will come soon too. But I'm still mostly upright. For now. I just know I can do more for Auntie and for the war. It's just this damn contract. Unless I can amend it so I might fix my graft, proving myself ain't happening anytime soon. Weren't many of us grafted soldiers to begin with. To think I'm one of the lucky ones. You looked at the fine print of an employment contract lately? It says any action taken by a worker that could result in impeded work must be approved by the contract holder. Not only would trying to fix my graft impede my work, but it's also financially unviable, unproven, a risky investment. So I'm stuck with a limb that's slowly poisoning me. Could pursue fixing it myself were I out of my contract, but if I attempted to end it, I'd have to waive all employment rights for the next year. That's a non-starter. Law, no. The contract would just pass down the line of succession. It's a very long line. And anyway, I ain't a killer. No matter how much I fantasize about shutting him up when he goes on and on about how he's the father of capitalism reincarnated. Or lamenting that his mock apple martini ain't blended quite right. Ugh, never quite got the hang of those. Let me put it this way. If I was already on the bottom rung, this knocks me clean off and buries me in sand. But I started from nothing before. I could do it again. Maybe. Ain't easy moving between companies, and I wasn't always with Auntie's choice. But that's a story for another time. Get the feeling you will. Go on now. There's probably plenty of Protectorate info waiting to be scooped up if you're keen. Just mind the wraps. I got what I came for, so I reckon it's time to see about my contract. Law knows I could use a lucky break.
Just me, or did Inez remind you of Helen? Tough like her. Shame she's with Auntie's choice.
Sequencing attack strategies. Commencing combat-related activities.
Give the order, and I'll take care of him, Commander.
Status susceptible to danger.